What if I told you the person smiling at you secretly can't stand you? The hard truth is, not everyone who calls themselves your friend, or even someone you love, actually loves you back. Hate doesn't always show up in shouting or fights. Sometimes it hides in small, everyday moves that are easy to miss. In this video, I'll reveal 8 psychological signs someone close to you may secretly hate you, and what you can do about it. I strongly recommend watching this entire video without skipping any section, as each section builds upon the previous one. Before I continue, kindly hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video with your loved ones. Thank you. Now let's dive in. First, a quick but important note. People act badly for many reasons: stress, jealousy, insecurity, mental health, cultural habits, or plain selfishness. A single comment doesn't prove someone hates you. But repeated patterns, the small, everyday moves, do tell a story. I'll explain each sign, give real examples, and share what research and thinkers like Carl Jung and modern scientists say about why people hide hatred or hostility. One comment doesn't equal proof. Patterns matter. Sign 1. Backhanded compliments and fake praise. The first sign is a backhanded compliment, a sentence that looks like praise but actually stings. Example: wow, you look great for your age, or you did well, for someone so inexperienced. These comments feel like praise, but they put you down at the same time. Lots of people do this when they are jealous, resentful, or trying to put you in your place. Researchers who study these comments find they often come from a place of envy, power play, or passive hostility. A backhanded compliment can be a subtle way to tell you they think less of you, while pretending to be kind. Examples of lines: you look good. I almost didn't recognize you. That project was fine for a beginner. What to do? Say calmly, that felt like a dig. Did you mean that as a compliment? Or, thanks, I'll take it as encouragement. This keeps you calm and spoils the power of the sting. Sign 2. Passive-aggressive moves. The second sign is passive-aggressive behavior. This includes things like agreeing to help and then forgetting, giving the silent treatment, rolling your request back by doing it badly on purpose, or small acts of sabotage. These behaviors are a way to show anger without owning it. Examples: they say sure I'll help and never show up. They do your task badly and say, I tried. They use sarcasm often, or constant tiny digs. Modern research and clinical papers describe passive aggression as a pattern of indirect hostility that harms relationships and raises stress. Some tools now measure these behaviors because they're common and damaging. What to do? Call out the pattern calmly. When you say you'll help and don't, I end up stressed. Can we be honest about what you can do? Or set a boundary. If you don't want to do it, say so. Don't make promises. Sign 3. Clear contempt in face or body language. Sign 3 is contempt. The look that says, I'm better than you. It can be a tiny sneer, eye rolling, a smirk, or brief facial movements called microexpressions. The psychologist Paul Ekman studied facial expressions and showed that contempt is a real, recognizable emotion. In relationships, contempt is linked with serious trouble. Relationships scientist John Gottman calls contempt one of the worst signs in a relationship. He found contempt predicts relationship breakdown more than most other signs. How it looks in real life. They lift one side of the mouth when you speak. They look at you with a tight, superior smile. They make your words feel small or silly. What to do? Don't match contempt with sarcasm. That makes things worse. If you feel safe, say, I notice you look upset when I say that. Can we talk about it? If contempt is regular, consider distance. Repeated contempt is toxic. Sign 4. Silent treatment and social exclusion. Sign 4 is the silent treatment or excluding you. When someone close to you deliberately ignores you, it doesn't feel small. The brain treats social rejection like real pain. Research shows social exclusion triggers the same brain areas that light up for physical pain. So silence can hurt a lot. Examples: they stop replying to texts for days after a small fight. They exclude you from events you were invited to before. They freeze you out until you apologize, even if you're not sure why. Some people use silence as control. Others use it because they cannot manage emotion. But used as punishment, it is abusive. What to do? If it's once or twice, wait a little, but then ask. I felt shut out. Can we talk about what happened? If it's a pattern, set a boundary. I won't accept being used as a punishment. Let's take a break and revisit this with a counselor if needed. If you're being abused, get support from friends or professionals. Sign 5. They spread gossip or triangulate. Sign 5 is gossip or triangulation, when someone tells others stories about you or uses others to hurt you. This is a sign they want to damage your reputation, control the story, or isolate you. Examples. You hear they told a lie about you to mutual friends. They tell other people something private you told them, but then deny it. They bring a third person into an argument to prove a point. Negative gossip damages trust and mental health. Studies show workplace gossip lowers morale and can harm career and well-being. How to respond? Confront privately. I heard X. Did you say that? Why? Protect your reputation by correcting false stories with facts, calmly. And limit private info shared if they repeatedly gossip. Gossip is about power. Sign 6. Repeated undermining and sabotage. Sign 6 is undermining or sabotage. This is when someone actively makes your life harder. At work, it can be hiding files, not passing on information, or taking credit. At home, it can be making your job harder on purpose. Research shows people sometimes sabotage others when they feel threatened or envious. Examples. They don't tell you about a change that affects your work. They take credit for your idea in a meeting. They purposely mess up something you need. Often, sabotage is driven by fear, envy, or a need to survive in a competitive setting. It's not always conscious, but it is deliberate and harmful. What to do? Document incidents and facts. If it's at work, report to HR with evidence. If it's a personal relationship, consider limits or ending the relationship if it keeps happening. Undermining is not a mistake, it's a pattern. Sign 7. Constant criticism, nitpicking, or contempt disguised as help. Sign 7 is nonstop criticism and nitpicking. True feedback helps. Constant criticism hurts. If a person always finds fault and rarely supports you, they may dislike you deeply. Research on relationships shows chronic criticism and contempt predict major trouble. Examples. They correct your smallest choices in front of others. They turn your successes into flaws, like saying, "You only did that because." How to tell the difference? Helpful feedback is specific and kind. Criticism that attacks your worth or happens in public is abusive. What to do? Say, "I appreciate feedback. When you criticize like that in public, I feel ashamed." Can you raise it privately? If they keep tearing you down, rethink closeness. Chronic criticism scars self-esteem. Sign 8. Projection. They accuse you of what they feel. Sign 8 is projection, when someone accuses you of feelings or faults that they actually have. Carl Jung wrote about the shadow, the part of ourselves we don't like. When we don't see our own shadow, we sometimes project it onto others. In plain words, someone who secretly hates themselves or their life may accuse you of hating them. Examples. They call you jealous when they're the jealous one. They accuse you of being mean, while they are the mean person. Projection shows a lack of self-awareness and an unwillingness to take responsibility. It can be a defense to avoid facing their own problems. What to do? Recognize projection doesn't mean you're the problem. State simple facts. I'm not trying to hurt you. I see this differently. If it continues, protect yourself. Projection can escalate into blame and manipulation. Quick recap. The 8 signs. 1. Backhanded compliments. 2. Passive-aggressive moves. 3. Contempt in their face or tone. 4. Silent treatment or exclusion. 5. Gossip and triangulation. 6. Sabotage or undermining. 7. Constant criticism. 8. Projection. How to test if it's real. Quick checklist and mental steps. If you think someone secretly hates you, try this short test before you act. 1. Count how often it happens in 1 month. One slip is not a pattern. 2. Look for multiple signs, not just one. 2 or more repeating signs are serious. 3. Ask a trusted friend for their view. Sometimes we miss context. 4. Ask yourself if you're being treated this way with others too. Is it them or you? 5. If you suspect abuse, get outside support right away. When to get help and how to protect yourself. Sometimes the pattern is small and fixable. Other times it is abusive. If someone's behavior makes you feel unsafe, anxious, or trapped, reach out. Talk to a friend, a family member, or a therapist. If it's at work, keep records and speak to HR. If it's in a relationship and the person uses contempt, stonewalling, or the silent treatment to control you, get help. Why people hate quietly, short psychology and Jung again. Why hide hate? Often people don't want the fight, the shame, or the cost of being open. Jung taught us the shadow still lives inside many people, and when it is not owned, it gets projected outward. Modern social psychology shows many defense mechanisms like projection and passive aggression protect a fragile ego even while they hurt others. Gentle final advice: what you can control. You can't make someone like you, but you can. Notice patterns. Protect your feelings. Call things out calmly. Get support. Walk away when someone's behavior keeps hurting you. Love doesn't hurt like contempt, repeated sabotage, or regular silent treatment. Protect your peace.